Hi, my name is Sharon. Welcome to the second part in our series. So for today's practice, it would be helpful to have one blanket, a strap, and two blocks. If you don't have a strap, you can always use a towel. So we're going to start off on our backs, and we're going to take the strap or the towel with us. So we're going to come to lie down on our backs. We'll bend the left knee, and we're going to bring the strap underneath the ball of the right foot. So grab on either side of the strap and push the ball of the foot into the strap, and at the same time pull the strap down on the ball of the foot, dropping those toes a little bit more towards the face. So you can stay here keeping the left knee bent, or you can extend the left leg straight out on the mat. If you're extending the left leg, flex through the foot. Try to find softness through the shoulders. Also, notice if the right hip is lifting off the ground. See if you can settle it down. Continuing to drop the toes towards the face, stretching the calf. And then from here, we're going to take the strap in our right hand, and we're going to take our left hand to our left hip or our left thigh. We're going to stay flexed through both feet and soft through the shoulders. We're going to slowly bring the leg out to the right. So if you have more restriction in the back of the leg, a nice option is to bring a block under that right hip. So allow the leg to come out. So the closer you draw those toes up towards the head, the more challenging, the further away, a little bit easier. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly bringing the leg back up. We're going to take the strap in our left hand. Extend the right arm out to a T. We're going to simply move the right foot over no more than 45 degrees. So just until you start to get that nice stretch through the outer hip wrapping around the IT band. Once you're there, just breathe. Continuing to flex through the foot as you pull the strap down on the ball of the foot. And then from here, we're going to lift the right hip off the floor as we bring the right leg over towards the floor. And then turning the gaze towards those right fingers. So keeping some softness through the shoulders. And then inhale, right leg comes up. We're going to bring the hands to either side of the strap. Inhale. Exhale, lift the chest and the chin, gazing up towards the ceiling, staying flexed through both feet. Staying here or reaching the arms forward, palms facing each other. And then lowering the shoulders, lowering the head, releasing the strap from the right foot. We'll bend the right knee, planting the foot on the mat. Drawing the left knee in, wrapping the strap under the ball of the foot. Extending that left leg straight towards the ceiling. So if there's more restriction, that leg may be further away from the body. So we want to try and get the leg straight. So make the accommodations you need to. Push the ball of the foot into the strap and pull the strap down on the ball of the foot. Dropping the toes back towards the face. And then maybe extending the right leg straight, flexing through the foot. Taking a few breaths here. And then we'll draw the strap into the left hand. Bring the right hand to the right hip or the right thigh, using that to keep it grounded. And then we'll slowly begin to open the left leg out to the side. Staying soft through the shoulders, flexing through both feet. And then inhale, leg comes back up. Taking the strap in the right hand, we'll bring the left arm out to a T, flex here, and then begin to shift the leg over. Again, you might not have to come very far to get a sensation through the IT band. And then allowing that left hip to pick up off the floor as you roll over, gazing towards the left fingers. Inhale, coming back up to center. Taking either side of the strap in each hand. Inhale, lift the chest, the chin, gazing up, the back of the neck stays long. Holding here, flexing through both feet. For an added challenge, you can reach those arms forward, palms facing. And then release wherever you are, bringing the foot back down to the mat, removing your strap, placing it off to the side. We're going to cross that right ankle over the left knee. Flex through the right foot. From here, we're going to lift the left foot off the ground. The first option is to clasp the hands underneath the left thigh. If it's difficult to reach, then use your strap and wrap it around. Second option is to clasp the hands on the front of the left shin. Whichever version you're in, continue to draw the left knee in towards the chest as you draw the right knee away. Stay soft through the shoulders. And then keep the legs, but release the hands. We're going to allow that right foot and that left knee to roll over to the left side until the left thigh rests on the mat and the right foot. Bring the right hand to the right hip. Left hand comes to the right knee. Push the knee away from the body. Getting a stretch through that right hip. And then release the hands. Coming back to center, we'll switch the crossing of the legs. So plant both feet, left ankle stacks over right knee. Stay flexed through the left foot. And then from here, we'll lift the right foot off the mat. Options to clasp underneath the thigh or clasp the fingers on front of the shin. Soften the shoulders. Make sure the back of the neck stays long. Staying here, and then releasing the hands, keeping the feet. We're going to bring the right foot down and just allow the left foot to roll over towards the floor, resting the right thigh on the mat. Left hand comes to the left hip, right hand comes to the left knee. Push the knee away from you. And then release. Inhale, coming up. We're going to come up into our first downward facing dog. So make sure you have your blocks at the front of your mat. Walk the hands forward, curl the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips up and back. So first downward facing dog in this sequence. Just take note of the hamstrings, take note of how they're feeling. And then bending one knee, we'll bend the right knee to start, left leg straight. Trying to draw that left heel towards the mat. And then we'll switch sides, bending left knee, right leg straightens. One more time each side, right knee bends. And then left knee bends. And then come back to downward facing dog. Holding here in stillness for 3 breaths. One more breath. And then we're going to lift the right leg up behind us. Spread the toes, take a peek back. Should be able to see space between each toe. And then we're going to bend the knee, shift the shoulders forward, round through the upper back, and step the right foot forward. So from here, we're going to come into a runner's lunge. So again, you have your blocks handy. If the floor feels far away, bring blocks under the fingertips. Begin to find the power in your legs. Lift the left knee, lift the chest, lift the chin, gazing forward, engage the abdominals. Inhale here. Exhale, we're going to shift the hips back as we straighten the front knee. Inhale, rebending the front knee, chest, gaze shifts forward. And then shifting the hips back, straightening the leg. Coming forward one more time. And back. And then we'll come forward, rebending the front knee. We're going to bring the left knee down. We're going to come into our half splits. So we'll walk the hands back, flex through the right foot. Lift the chest, lift the chin. So the more you draw those toes back towards your face, the deeper the stretch through the hamstring. Inhale here, and then exhale, round. Inhale, coming up. We're going to plant that left hand on the inside of the right shin. Again, if the floor is far away, use a block. Bring the right hand to the right hip, twist and rotate the chest open. Staying here or reaching the right arm to the sky. And then we'll release the hand down, walking the hands forward as we rebend the front knee. Curling the back toes under, lifting the back knee. So we're gonna move into our standing split pose. So begin to get light on the back toes, draw the navel in and up, chest forward. Walking the hands forward, again, having your blocks handy if you need them. Maybe beginning to hop the back foot in. And then when you feel balanced in the right foot, lift the left leg off the mat, drop the neck, drop the head. So we're less concerned with today's practice about how high that left leg comes and more concerned with the stretch in the right hamstring. So if there's still quite a bit of restriction, you can keep a slight bend in the right knee, or maybe beginning to work that right leg straight. And then inhale, we'll slowly bend the right knee, stepping the left foot to the back of the mat, plant the hands, step the right foot back, downward facing dog. So settling the breath, taking 2 more breaths here. And then we'll inhale, lift the left leg up, step the left foot between the hands, coming into that runner's lunge. So coming up onto the fingertips, getting power through the legs, lifting the chest, the gaze forward. Inhale here. Exhale, we'll straighten that left leg. Inhale, rebending the left knee, chest and gaze forward. Exhale, shifting back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, coming forward. We'll drop the back knee, release the back toes, walking the hands back as we straighten the left leg. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the chin. And then when you're ready, you can allow the spine to round, drop the head. Inhale, coming up. We'll do our twist. So we'll bring that right hand to the mat or a block, bring the left hand to the left hip. Begin to spiral the chest open, maybe turning the gaze up, maybe lifting the left arm. Inhale here, exhale, bringing the left hand down, rebending the front knee, walking the hands forward, lifting the back knee off the mat. So setting up for our standing split pose. Chest moving forward, gaze moving forward, getting light in the back toes. And then when you're ready, maybe you hop the foot in or just spring forward for standing split. So again, for today's practice, we're more concerned with the back of the leg versus how high the right leg lifts. So even though this may be an intense pose for the hamstrings, can you find softness? Softness in the neck, softness with the breath. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly bending the front knee, stepping the right foot back. Planting the hands, stepping left foot back to meet the right. Staying in down dog, holding here for 3 breaths. One more breath. And then we'll lift the right leg up behind us and step the right foot between the hands. We're going to come up into our pyramid pose. So we'll step that left foot in and we'll come up to stand. So we want to make sure that both legs are straight and both feet are flat on the mat. If you find that left heel is lifting off or the knees are not able to straighten, then just shorten your stance by stepping the back foot in. Bringing the hands to the hips, squaring the hips forward. Inhale, reach the arms up, drawing the navel in and up, engaging the abdominals here. Beginning to shift forward, just halfway to begin, reaching the fingers forward. Notice if that right hip is creeping forward, draw it back in line with the left. And then beginning to fold forward, bringing the hands to blocks on either side of the front foot or the mat, allowing your neck to drop and breathe. So if your hands are on the mat, you can walk the hands forward, coming up onto the fingertips to intensify the stretch. Really stay rooted, connected with the mat through that left heel. It'll help with the balance. Push the left heel into the mat and the right big toe. And then we'll begin to walk the hands in if they were forward. Inhale, coming up halfway, bringing the hands to the hips, pushing yourself up to stand. We'll step the left foot forward to meet the right. Reach the arms high and then fold forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. We'll plant the hands, stepping back to downward facing dog. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Left leg lifts, left foot steps forward. Right foot steps in, coming up to stand. So if you found that your pyramid pose on the right side was a little wobbly, then you can shimmy that left foot out to widen your stance. Bringing hands to the hips, both feet pushing into the mat, hips squared forward. Reach the arms up, soften the shoulder blades down the back. Begin to shift forward, stopping at the halfway point. So really finding length here through the spine. Engage the abdominals, draw the left hip back. And then begin to bring those hands down towards the mat, dropping the neck. And then if the hands are reaching the floor, you can walk the hands forward to deepen the stretch through that left hamstring. And then inhale, walking hands back in, coming up halfway, bringing the hands to the hips, pushing through the right heel, coming up to stand. We'll step the right foot forward, shake out the legs, reach the arms up, and fold. So from here, we'll bring our feet hips distance or even wider. We're going to keep the right leg straight. We're going to plant the left hand underneath the face, bend the left knee, and reach the right arm to the sky. And then we'll do the same thing other side. Right knee bends, right hand plants, left arm reaches. And then left hand comes down. We'll toe heel those feet back together. Inhale, lift halfway. We'll plant our hands, stepping back to downward facing dog. So from our downward facing dog, we're going to move into our pigeon pose. So we're going to lift the right leg up, shifting the shoulders forward, bringing the right knee to plant behind the right wrist. Before we even bring that left thigh down, let's see if we can get more length. So shimmy that left foot back, drawing the hips down. So some of us with more restriction, that front shin may be at more of an angle. If you have more flexibility through the hip, you may be able to bring the right shin closer to parallel with the front of your mat. What's more important than the shin is having the hips squared forward and the chest squared forward. So bring the fingers alongside the front shin, lift the chest. If there's a big gap between that right hip and the mat, this is a great place for a folded blanket, maybe 2 blankets, or even a yoga block. What we want to avoid is leaning over onto that right hip. So trying to keep hips squared forward. Once you have the legs situated, we'll walk the hands forward at a 45-degree angle. So chest forward, gaze forward. Just noticing the sensations through that right hip. And then from here, some of you may be able to take the pose further. Some of you may stay here. If you'd like to try to take the pose further, you can either bring your forearms to your block, the mat, or maybe walk those hands forward, bringing the forehead to the floor. So wherever you are, we're going to hold for 3 breaths. So in these hip openers that are intense, the breath is so important. Keeps the mind from panicking. Helps further the stretch. And then wherever you are, let's come back up to the hands. We're going to walk those hands over towards the right knee. So we're going to angle the torso. From here, we're going to keep the right hands rooted on the floor. Bring the left forearm to the mat and take that left hand, grab onto the right knee. Slowly twisting the chest towards the right. And then inhale, coming up. We'll walk the hands over towards the right foot. So from here, some of you may stay here upright. Others may want to try to walk the left fingers forward and then bring the right forearm to a block or the mat. So keeping the hips where they are, it's just a stretch. It's just to further the stretch through the right hip. And then inhale, coming back to center. Planting the hands, curling the back toes under, lifting the left knee off the mat, and stepping back to down dog. So maybe bending the knees, shaking the hips, bringing some blood flow back to the right hip. And then from here, we'll do pigeon on the left side. So we'll lift left leg up, shifting forward, bringing the left knee with us, planting it behind the left wrist. And then beginning to shimmy that right foot back, trying to get length through the right leg. Again, making any adjustments that you may need. If there's a big gap between that left hip, using your blanket or blocks. And then finding a good position for the front shin. Bringing hands alongside the body, squaring the hips, squaring the chest. And then we'll walk our hands forward, pushing the mat away, lifting the chest. And then maybe some of us will continue to fold either forearms or walking the hands forward, bringing the forehead to the mat. So again, finding your own edge. The pose that you can continue to maintain your steady breathing. And then wherever you are, we'll come back up. We're going to walk our hands over towards the left knee. We're going to come down onto the forearm on the right side, grabbing onto the knee. Push the left fingertips into the floor to rotate the chest open. Holding here for 3 breaths. And then turning the gaze down, walking the hands up. We'll walk those hands over towards the left foot, lifting the chest, and then beginning to walk the right fingers as far forward as they'll go, bringing the left forearm to the mat. Holding here for 3 breaths. One more breath. And then inhale, coming back up. This time we're going to lean over onto that left hip and swing the right leg around. We're going to come to a cross-legged position, bringing our hands to our thighs, drawing the back, elbows underneath the shoulders, sitting with the tall spine, bringing the eyes to a close. So taking a few breaths here. Hip opening can be challenging for many of us. So just allow your breath to settle, your mind to settle. You can stay here if you have more time at home, or you can allow those eyes to flutter open. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.